Hello and welcome everybody. We have the patch notes for NAEU May 14th, 2026. Let's get right into it. We have some of the changes that came up on Global Labs. So on Warrior, the Ground Smash and Ultimate Ground Smash, they improved to combo now smoothly into the following Raban skills: the Seismic Strike, Frenzied Spear, Shield Assault, and Shield Tide. In the case of Awakening, the Burning Moxie, they increased the enemy detection range by 1.5 times, changed the number of enemies required for the buff effects from 1, 3, and 9 to 1 or 5. This will affect OS since you will only get the one enemy at a time anyway. They removed the all damage reduction plus 20 buff based on the number of enemies, as it was identical to the effect applied by the Great Sword Defense and the Slashing the Dead. They added effects that recover HP per hit based on the number of enemies nearby. So we have the Flow Tempest, you recover 105 or 314 per hit. The Grave Digging, 51 or 153 per hit. Flow Slashing the Dead, same thing. Same thing on Reckless Blow. The Pulverize recover 400 HP when using a skill effect remains unchanged. Same thing for the 350 on the Tempest Recover, and 134 also remains unchanged on the Frenzied Strikes. Frenzied Strikes, they changed the knockdown on the last hit to apply to PvE only. They also added a forward guard during the skill, and if you choose the core, they changed the effect upon learning a skill that the forward guard during the skill is changed to a knockdown on last attack hit. So effectively, you need to take the core if you want to keep the knockdown in PvP. They also adjusted the PvP damage for the Reckless Blow. It used to be 36 damage in PvP, now it is 36 before fully charged and 41.22 when fully charged. Tamer, there's a tiny change that was not on Global. Skyreach and Trample, they fixed an issue where the skill could be cancelled into other skills before the attack hit. Then the Awakened Drakania and tiny bit of Drakania is getting a change. To be honest, I feel this is too much, but hey, that's just my opinion. Flow Marthanon's Wings, they reduced the stamina cost from 400 to 250, so hopefully this should affect Succession as well. On Awakening itself, the Flow Marthanon's Wings has been changed so that using it with your Tryon no longer reduces the movement distance even while on cooldown. The Legacy skill has been reduced to 2 seconds, so 2 seconds down. Hexablood, they removed the floating on the first hit and added a forward guard. If you learn the core, it now applies the float. Hexablood, Flow of the Concealed Claw, they added a forward guard as well. Core Extinction, they changed the effect applied upon learning the skill. Now it is Super Armor during the skill. Core Sundering Roar is also now Super Armor again, even though they removed Super Armor at first. Hexablood Storm Maul, they changed the defensive effect from Invincible while moving to Invincible into Super Armor during the skill. Dragonblood Sundering Roar, they added a down attack. And they adjusted the PvP damage on 4 Dragonblood skills. On Savage Decree, it went up to 42%. Storm Piercer up to 38%. Doombringer up to 18.2%. And the Tectonic Slam up to 34%. The one a lot of people have been hoping for, Seraph, is being adjusted, but it is mostly her excessive long-distance mobility. So Dauntless Will has gained a 6-second cooldown that decreased the character rotation speed towards the camera direction when using it as well. The stamina cost has been reduced from 200 to 150 though. The Vanguard Chase, they removed the plus 15 movement speed for 5 seconds when using a skill. The Impelling Thrust and the Sacra version, they decreased the movement distance by 22.57, but increased the skill motion time by 1.72. Impelling Surge and the Sacramentum as well, they decreased the movement distance as well by 10.37%, and increased the skill motion time by 8.13, and they removed the knockdown on hits, PvP only, it says. Rising Slash, they added Super Armor during the skill. Horizon Slash has been changed that the knockdown is on the second attack hit. The knockback is on the second attack hit, not on the first and the second. Mark of Judgment, they removed the down smash. They also added or changed effects that recover HP. So Horizon Slash now recovers 200 per hit for 3 hits total. The Impelling Slash recovers 300 per hit for 2 hits total, and the Bonebreaker recovers 300 for 3 hits total. The Purgatum Sanguine Heart, they've changed the skill effect to also apply to Purga, Mark of Purification, and the Judgment of Justice. The Purgatum Dark Pursuit, they've improved so the character rotates based on the camera direction, and improved to combo smoothly into the Whirling Wrath and the Seething Hatred. Talking about Whirling Wrath, they've changed the defensive effect from Super Armor to Forward Guard during the skill to a Super Armor during the skill. The Unveiling Enmity, they changed the defensive effect from Super Armor during the skill into a Invincible into Super Armor. And Purga Judgment of Justice, they increased the movement distance. PvP applications are also being changed, so the Absolute Line Breaker is going up to 38%, Rising Slash also up to 38%, so 3% up. Absolute Oblique Rising Slash up 4% to 44%, Absolute Mark of Judgment up 12% to 35%, Impelling Slash going up to 44%, that is 8% up. Flow Shout, I think that's supposed to be Shoulder Smite, not Shouter Smite, going up to 47%, and the Purgatum Bursting Rancor going up to 25.6%. There is also some category and rule adjustments for grapple skills. I don't think this is really going to help, but establishing definitions and wind-up motions rules for ranged grapple skills. So ranged grapples will now have a wind-up of 0.5. The effect skills are the Punishing Trap on Nova, Heartcatcher Petrarca from Corsair. They've adjusted the following skills on definition. So the Nova windup is now 0.5 on both cases, and Heartcatcher Petrarca also. They adjusted the range of certain melee or dash grapples that had inconsistent reach. Supposedly, Seraph has the grapple range reduced by 33%. Let's see if it actually makes a difference. Guardian, the grapple range of the Neck Impaler has also been reduced. They've increased the grapple range of the Choke Slam, however, by 50%. Kunoichi and Ninja, the grapple range of the Death's Descent has been increased by 20%, and they've reduced the grapple range of the Death's Descent when used while airborne by 15.7%. Ninja, they reduced the grapple range of the Flash Bondage by 25%, but increased its width by 20% to match other melee grapples. They standardized the wind-up motion times for grapple skills that deviated from the established rules. So Ninja Flash Bondage, they fixed an issue where the wind-up motion was 0.11 seconds longer. Striker Massive Suppression with Gauntlet, they fixed an issue where the wind-up was a bit longer, 0.1 seconds. Corsair, they changed the wind-up motion to remain consistent regardless of the previous skill combo. Guardian Neck Impaler, they also changed the wind-up motion time and standardized the wind-up motion for other grapple skills that showed minor variations. They also standardized the follow-up motion time for failed grapples to 0.4 seconds across all skill. I have noticed a warrior missing its grab gets toppled or like stunned almost, but it seems on a lot of them this wasn't the case. For example, I've never seen a Seraph get stuck in something. But supposedly Tamer Soaring Kick, they fixed an issue with it could cancel into other skills before 0.4 seconds had passed on failed grapple. And same thing on Ninja's Flash Bondage. They fixed an issue where Super Armor on a failed grapple lasted longer than the time, and fixed minor follow-up motion time discrepancies for other skills. I am hoping this covers those as well. I've seen quite a few grab classes. They grab, miss their grab, and then they just keep going. And it does feel much quicker than 0.4 seconds, but we're going to see. Regular class changes, we have the Warrior Piercing Spear. They fixed an issue with the skill motion appeared awkward. Frenzy Strikes and Flow Tempest, they fixed an issue with the skills granted extra effects of recover HP. Balance Strikes, the Solar Flare. Armor Break, Knee Kick, they fixed an issue with the skills recovered WP when enemies were nearby, even if the attack did not hit. Sorceress, Prime Darkness Release, they fixed an issue with the PvP damage ratio was displayed as a reduction ratio. Ninja Flash Bonded, they fixed an issue where Invincible was not applied immediately on hits. Valkyrie Black Spirit Terra Sancta, they fixed an issue where Super Armor duration was too short. Valkyrie Succession Ultimate Severing Light, they mitigated the issue where Attack 2 would occasionally fail to trigger while being hit. Drakania Hexblood, tip of the scale, there was an issue where it could not be comboed into certain skills when Attack 2 was used during cooldown. And Wukong, they fixed an issue where he would repeat the Fighting Buddha entry motion instead of cancelling the state when inputting the Fighting Buddha command under certain conditions. Then the channel titles are coming back, so adventurers who possess gold, silver, or bronze Black Spirit icons have been awarded the 90-day titles. These are pretty much just shown here, nothing too crazy. They also updated the item copy rotation classes to Wukong and Lan during the period, and you can now tag for 1 silver. Item-wise, we have the new treasure, the Star of Nostos. A mysterious power has been discovered, one that opens the gateway home when the 6 essences of nature imbued with the life force of spirits are brought together. Equipping the mysterious crystal, Star of Nostos, to your campsite, you gain the ability to return to your residence or manor. So pretty much we have the crafting materials from all gathering materials. These items can be traded via central market with a max price of 3 million silver. Items can also be sold to NPCs for 1 million silver each. Gathering Mastery affects the rare's resource drop rate and quantity increase. These will apply. Same thing for the special skill from the Hedgehogs, for example, and the Green Artisan will also give you multipliers on the minigames. So we have the Hoe Gathering for the Cracked Terra Shard, Lumbering for the Withered Wood Ship, Fluid Collecting for the Thin Essence of Life. This seems to be blood or sap. Mining has the Dim Heartvein Shard, Butchering has the Faint Wild Soul, and Tanning has the Faded Nature Woven Hide. If you get 1,000 of each of them and combine them with 100 Essence of Nature, you get the final item, the Terra Shard, Eon Wood Round, Essence of Life, Heartvein Crystal, Wild Soul, and Nature Woven Hide. And if you combine all 6 in the Yaz's combinable pouch, you get the Star of Nostos. To be honest, it's a treasure item. I feel a little bit sad that you can buy it. There will be some that are definitely way more available. For example, the herb gathering one, I imagine to pretty much be min listed, while something like the tan or the butcher might be less available, or for example the wood chip as well. I do expect those to be a lot rarer. Do watch out for the market fluctuations in that case, or you might be able to make a small profit. Afterwards, you install and equip the Star of Nostos to your campsite, so you do need to buy the campsite. It does not seem to work on the free-to-play one, or at least it is not mentioned. I will be trying it out. If it is, I might drop a comment in the channel, but I'm going to have to see if I can even test it. Using this feature triggers a 30-minute cooldown, which is tracked per character. The cooldown continues to decrease even while logged out. You can only initiate the move while you're near your installed campsite. This function can be used while on a mount, but the mount will not be moved with you. And you can move to a manor you cannot move to a manor if the rental period has expired. And it cannot be used during Node, Conquest Wars, or War of the Roses. And finally, exiting the residence or manor will return you to the location of your installed campsite. If you exit the game or change characters, the campsite is automatically packed up and your character returns to the location where the Star of Nostos was used. And even if you pack up your campsite while inside a residency or manor, you will still return to the campsite location. Further, you also get a title if you talk to Chief Valentine and Florin, the Back Home Again title, which is this light gray. With that, with all the new gathering bonuses, we also have some gathering profits adjustments. So overall, the Trace of Nature is going up from 1 to 1 to 2. You're going to be seeing quite a few changes of 1 to 1 to 2. For example, in the Hoe Gathering, we have the same thing for the Fruit of Nature. We have a drop rate increase of the Black Gem Fragments, big upgrade on the Sharp Black Crystal Shards, and the Fairy's Breath is going up by 8. In the case of Lumbering, similar thing, logs are going up by 1 pretty much. Same thing for the Bloody Tree Knot, from 1 to 1 to 2, with a 26 drop rate increase. Calf are going up in drop rate and amounts. Same thing for the Dust. Sharp Black Crystal Shards are going up by the drop rate. Fairy's Breath as well. Fluid Gathering, same thing as with the Lumbering, at least in the case of the Tree Gathering, it seems. We have the Bloody Tree Knot, Red Tree Lump, Spirit's Leaf, Monk's Branch, Old Tree Bark, all going up with the quantity. Fairy's Breath, Sharp Black Crystal Shards going up. We have the Mining and Butchering, same things. The base materials are going up, drop rates are going up across the board. In the case of mining, we do have a highlight for the Rough Stone on the Coral Stoneback Crab, going from 1 to 1 to 2, and the Rosalka's Coral going up by 23%. Butchering, the Black Gem Fragments and Sharps are going up. Blood Collecting, in the case of sheep, you get a increase of the Sharps, Black Gem Fragments, and Fairy's Breath actually dropping. Blood Collecting on animals as well. Fairy's Breath, the drop rate is also going down, which is kind of a shocker. But the Sharps and Black Gem Fragments are going up. But there's also a change coming for the Fairy's Breath. Just hold on. In the case of Tanning, Black Gem Fragments and Sharp Black Crystal Shards are going up. And the same thing for Tanning, in this case Navarre Steppe. Black Gem Fragments and Sharp Black Crystal Shards are also going up. Talking about the Fairy's Breath exchange change. So before it was Fairy's Breath, now it will be Dormant Fairy's Breath. It will no longer exchange for Sharps, with the increase of Sharps being dropped straight. But we are getting a exchange for 10 Fairy's Breath for 30 Wildgrass, 20 Logs, 12 Roughstone, 1 Fruit of Nature, 1 Trace of Nature, and the good old standard Contribution XP and Gathering XP. But overall, the Wildgrass is definitely a nice little upgrade because... Actually, no, that is Wildgrass and not Weeds. I think we might still struggle getting Weeds. Yeah, that's actually going to be a problem. Overall, the only thing really worthwhile on this table would be logs and rough stones if you need them then. But sadly, yeah, this was a bad translation on Global Labs. Initially it said weeds and now it says wild grass. Yep, so weeds will still be a choke point for the forest path wagons. Then we have the improved descriptions for the following items, so pretty much all CP items. He also corrected the usage description of the Great Ocean level 7 barter items. So before it was barter and sell to shop, now it's just sell to shop. They also removed the Weathered Field battlefield icon from the Managed Currency UI. You will have gotten some gold bars. We have some small monster changes. So the Adania Rock Elephants will now give Broken Ivory on the actual kill. Butchering, tanning, and flute collecting, you get meat, hides, and blood. And in the case of the Valencia female elephants, you also get the hide. Note in Conquest Wars, they adjusted the initial durability and recovery amount of annexes, 0.1 at start of construction and 0.13 per second, to a 1% at start and 0.1 per second recovered. They fixed some issues where the time dead and time survived for certain adventures appeared awkward in the UI. So there's quite a few Node War UI changes or fixes. There was some issues with the damage dealt by flame towers, watches, or elephants. There was an issue where hitting an alliance fort or annex with a cannon displayed the guild name instead of the alliance name. Fixed an issue where the participation time appeared awkward in the Conquest War result UI if the war ended immediately because only one alliance or guild participated. There was also some issues where kill score earned during Conquest Wars were lower than intended. Fixed some issues where Indomitable Flag could not be installed during the Medallion Conquest War. Fixed an issue where merit points were not accumulated properly upon destroying a wooden fence gates, flimsy wooden fence, flame towers, enhanced flame towers, hawachas, or big hawachas. Fixed the issue where the upgrading flame tower during the Saturday Conquest War was unavailable after participating in an occupation node war on Friday. Fixed some issues where kill counts were not accumulated after the first hour in construction node war, preventing adventurers from obtaining the 3 related titles. Corrected awkward text display in the chat window when your fort is destroyed during a construction node war. Fixed some issues where the camera could move below the terrain in remote fort construction mode. Fixed some issues where guild information appeared awkward for alliances. Fixed some issues where the field of view remained wide after attempting to install more traps than the maximum allowed. Changed the resurrection locations in Asperkan and Musgar during node wars in the Ulukita territory. And then we have some gamepad mode fixes for the node war information. The D-pad inputs moving the opposite direction when checking node war information on the world map, and some issues where Conquest War information was displayed in regions with no Conquest War in progress. UI-wise, they added node products and node usage on the world map search functions, so you can now search for a craftable item or usage, like the example horse gear workshop, to view results. They also added the open chat window function to the emoji input UI. Enabled this function to open the emoji input UI when opening the chat window if you want to. They also changed the My Residence list in the UI. Web-wise, they opened the OpenID login icon design, or updated it, sorry. They fixed the issue where the file selection area remained visible at the bottom when uploading attachments in the community forum. And with that, we're in the modifications and changes. So they fixed some issues where Seraph's Ascension icon was displayed as another class in the AOS UI. Fixed the Adana candidate selection message to no longer appear during Arena of Solar matches. Fixed some issue with the boss info UI did not refresh when returning to the server from instance servers such as AOS or Red Battlefield. Fixed some issue with the skill UI appeared awkward when logging in as the same character from a different PC after changing between Succession and Awakening. Fixed some issues where the Black Spirit consumed Successor and Sorceress moved awkwardly. Fixed some issues where characters would not remain dead when re-entering Altar Blood after exiting while dead. Fixed some issues where scroll bar buttons and description overlapped in the Altar of Blood. Then there was an issue where if you moved to the Ron's Mirror, you got teleported. That got fixed. Donge, or the Black Shrine solo, they fixed the ground effects of Urushini's linear attacks to be more clearly visible. They also removed the collision effects of certain Kebi fires that spawn while fighting Duokshini in 1 to 7. Fixed some issues where hovering over truncated search results in the world map changed the text color, updated the description in the world map search UI, updated the description for the question mark icon in the world map, fixed some issues where the quantity of trade items in storage appeared incorrect in the Wharf Manager Wharf Load Cargo UI, removed the Dark Rift menu from the escape menu, fixed the boss field of view change UI to be displayed above the guild invitation notification. They also fixed the issue where certain pre-vamped Belenos main quests were now removed. This should be now fixed. They fixed some issues where the colors of XP and health gauges of the managed sailor UI and the ship menu were different. Fixed some issues where moving to a specific location within Tariff 2 second floor residence will move the character outside the door. Fix some issues where the quest objectives to catch fish for specific grades could be completed through activities other than fishing. Then we have a big bunch of gamepad mode fixes. So there was one where the cursor snapped in the Royal Workshop. Fix some issue where the cursor snapped awkwardly in UIs with a scroll bar. Improved the Monster Zone info UI to hide the show path key guide when selecting a zone does not have a navigation data. Fix some issues where the selected emojis were not being sent to chats. Added key guides to the campsite UI. In Scholar, they fixed an issue where the Star Seeker helmet looked awkward when worn with certain hairstyles. Then they fixed an issue where the red veil would occasionally not be summoned during the first challenge of Altar of Blood. Fixed an issue where the Golden Pig Cave statue effect occasionally failed to appear. Fixed an awkward placement of NPCs during the Officer Day or Night Watch Your Mouth quest. Fixed the issue where the artwork inside the frame was not visible when placing the Paw Doodle Seraph or Paw Doodle Wukong furniture. Corrected the incorrect information regarding Node and Conquest War servers on the selected server screen. Fixed some issues where item and buff tooltips occasionally stayed on screen after a character died in Node Wars. Fixed some issues of incorrect material quantities displayed when crafting guild registration for the Cadbury Elephant at the nursery. Fixed some issues where the trade items were not destroyed when using the assemble function during Blue Battlefield. And they fixed an issue where the status message for Summon Guild Mount was truncated. With that, we go into the first event, where we are getting a gathering event, obviously. So from now until May 28th, a new gathering treasure has arrived. So with that, we have the Blessing of the Spirits returning, which is a short 5-minute buff of 500 mastery and plus 5 movement speed, and it recovers 10 energy upon acquisition. And you also get the double chance for the mini games. That is pretty much it already. Moving on, we also have another Seals event, so Seals found in the world. Remnant of Distortion, Chapter 1. We've started finding remnants of an ominous energy across the world. I think we're going to need your help. So with that, we have a 250 stack, Choose Your Rare Hammer box, Ultimate Premium Enhancement box, Thankful Premium Outfit box again. So if you are still looking for an outfit, there you go. We have a Gamba box, Mysterious Energy box for 1,000, a Hate, the Quartz of Training box, Supreme Old Moon box, another Choose Your Resplendent storage. So we've been getting this one a lot. This one's actually really nice, especially if you want to start bartering. We have the standard scrolls for combat and life skills, some magical shards, Kaphra stones. There is a distortion response manual for 100, which is an event item, which we're going to see in a moment. Talking first about the Ultimate Premium Enhancement box, pretty much you have a chance at quite a few outfits if you're lucky, but don't expect it. But you might get some Cron Stones or at least 2 outfits, or even up to 50, or actually, yeah, 50. Otherwise, you might get some Dim Origins of Dark Hunger, but hey, it's technically free, may as well. In the case of the Mysterious Energy box contents, we have a bundle of 10,000 Cron Stones, 5,000, 300 stack, 250 stack, 2,000 Crons, Silent Crystals of Origin, Shiny Gold Bar box, Ultimate Combined Magic Crystal Macalod, Whom, Perfume of Tenacity, Envy, Sturdy Forest Threads, Sharp Black Crystal Shards, Concentrated Magical Black Gems, Magical Shards, Kaphra Stones, a Resplendent Enhancement Box, Cron Stones 700, 500, 400, and 300. Finally, we have the Distorted Response Manual, equipped in the Adventure Tome slot. It is effectively one of those fancy Tome slot items for 10% drop rate, 20% skill XP, 10% higher knowledge grade chance, death penalty resistance plus 10%, extra AP against monsters plus 5, and combat XP plus 100, and breath and strength plus 10. This item will be removed on June 18th, however, so do use it as much as you can. You get the Remnants of Distortion through subjugation, gathering, or fishing, so PvE, gathering, or fishing in all areas. Login rewards will also be giving 800 and 1,000 every day. We also have some special quests, the Ominous Signs of Darkness. You speak with Martha Keenan, who has arrived in Velia to investigate the scattered clues. So near Igor Bautali, you talk to her and you get some loot scrolls, secret books of flora, magical elixir box, and supreme old moon scrolls. Also, week 2 preview. Rumors say monsters that only appeared in Adania are now being sighted all over the world. That is coming soon, so probably next week. And with that, we are now in the Pearl Shop update, the Pearl Shop part. We have the Venatrix. This outfit, it's a bikini armor, style points. I mean, it is actually kind of shocking. It's not a modern outfit, in a sense. I find it a bit hilarious and fun, especially the point one maximize sensuality. The text is just hilarious. I will be definitely getting it for the helmet. The helmet alone looks good. It is a 4-piece, which we can see in a moment. Obviously, point two, the commanding visor. They have a pack, 45% off for 3 times the outfit with a Choose Your Premium 2 box. They also have the base one for 10% off for 3, and a actual base one single piece for 2,200 with no discount. But it is permanently here, so it will always be available. And as you can see, it is a 4-piece. You have the helmet and the armor, gloves, and shoes separate, so you can mix and match and just use the helmet or maybe use the gloves or boots if you like the visual of the boots, even though in the picture we don't really see them, we just see the knee. Gonna have to mix and match and see what you can come up with. There is some extra information. Wearing this armor will hide your underwear or swimwear. Wearing the helmet may also hide some accessories. You can toggle the hide headgear feature to reveal them. Wearing these gloves with other armors may change the appearance of the gloves, so kind of a heads up already. And wearing the same thing for the shoes. It cannot be registered on the central market, however, but you can always buy it. Wearing this armor will also hide your weapons on Mystic and Dark Knight, Lawn, and Nova. Equipping your Awakening weapon may change a portion of the outfit. Unequip it to show the full outfit. Do need to watch out for that as well. Worst case, you can always contact PA about a refund or go through the in-game refund system. Pro boxes, there is a 6,000 Acoin one with a pretty much 1.5 bonus, 3,000, so it's not quite a 1+1. It is a 1 plus 0.5. Similarly, we have one for 10,000 Acoins for 10,000 pearls and a 6,000, so a tiny bit more, but not quite a 1+1. And then finally, just the 20,000 for a 30% coupon. Quite pricey, but yeah. Then we have some Dreamy Butterfly boxes. This is a limited time item. It is a Gamba box. It is what it is. You get Gamba boxed, you get some Dreamer seals, which are more Gamba boxes and Ultimate Enhancement boxes. It is a Gamba box system. We're just going to kind of fly past these, obviously in multiple different bundles with different amounts of seals. There is the 70% off the Special Adventurers pack, which has 2 outfits, some combat support boxes, a 30% coupon for 2,040 pearls. If you are new to the game, this can be definitely a good thing if you want to try to get some outfits. Then they also have a minus 60 Gamba box, minus 60 Sweet Journey pack, also Gamba. We do have the Gamba Premium Enhancement box as well. Sweet Premium. Artisan's Memory is as usual available. We have the triple Ghost Fee returning, however, for 3 Ghost Fee Ghosts, or Ghost Fee Wizards, sorry. And we have the 50% off the backpack bundle, 50% triple Maids. Choose Your Costume is available for 30% off. That can be good if you still need one. And then finally, we have some general discounts on 20% off Nader's Parchment and Kind Gesture Honorable Fellowship Pack. This is something you can pretty much gift, but it's also not available in Belgium and Netherlands. So it is, the Kind Gesture is effectively a Kron box, Gamba box. It's the reason it's not available. And you get the title Guild Patron. I mean, 18,360 pearls is quite a bunch. Definitely something to consider in the background. It is quite a lot of money. But with that, I wish you the absolute best of luck. I hope you enjoy the outfit if you like it. If you don't agree with the outfit, I fully understand. It is a bit much. It is pretty much just a bikini with some armor. It's actually quite surprising that they're going with this direction, but we have been complaining that the outfits have been too modern. I mean, the bikini's pretty modern as well, but yeah, we're gonna be seeing how the outfits continue, and I will see you around.